Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a biblical story that kicks off with a simple question about greatness, but wow, it quickly uncovers a hidden threat. One our source says can silently corrupt any community or organization from the inside out. So this is the question Jesus' disciples ask him, recorded in the Gospel of Matthew. And, on the surface, it seems pretty harmless, right? A little bit of ambition, just trying to figure out where they stand in the pecking order. But here's the thing. According to our source, Jesus saw right through it. This wasn't just some innocent question about status. Nope. It was a symptom, a massive red flag for a much deeper problem that could poison their entire mission. So how did this even start? Well, the source explains that the disciples had probably misunderstood something Jesus said earlier. They heard the phrase, sons of the king, and they immediately thought, oh, we're VIPs. And of course, the very next question is, who's the most VIP? It kicked off this whole argument. And Jesus' response to all this jockeying for position, well, it's a total curveball. It comes in two parts, and he starts by completely flipping their whole idea of greatness right on its head. Now, when he says become like children, he doesn't mean be childish or naive. Not at all. The source makes it really clear. The point is that total dependence, that humility. It's like how a child completely relies on their parents. It is the absolute opposite of climbing a social ladder. Okay, and then, wow. The tone just completely changes. To show how serious he is about this, he goes from this gentle image of a child to something incredibly intense. This is the consequence for causing one of the humble, vulnerable people in the community to stumble. The imagery is shocking for a reason. The message is crystal clear. Protecting the vulnerable is a really, really big deal. So you've got this call to humility, you've got this incredibly stark warning, and there's a story he's about to tell. They might seem disconnected, but they're not. They are all zeroing in on the exact same problem, that same hidden threat. And here it is. The hidden threat is pride. It's that drive to be number one, that desire to be seen as the greatest, that makes you look down on other people, to literally despise them. It's insidious, right? It turns people into obstacles or stepping stones on your way to the top. Okay, so if this pride thing is so dangerous and so deep inside us, what do you actually do about it? Well, Jesus' solution, the language he uses, it's pretty radical. I mean, he literally says, cut off your hand, tear out your eye if it's causing you to sin. It's so graphic, you have to ask, is he being serious? Should people actually do this? And the answer is no, of course not. Our source points out this is what's called hyperbole. It's extreme language designed to make an unforgettable point. The point isn't self-harm. The point is that you have to be absolutely ruthless with the source of the problem, which is the pride that's taken root in your heart. And to really hammer this home, he tells a story, a parable about a lost sheep. But it's not just some random story. He's tapping into this really old, powerful idea from the Old Testament prophet Ezekiel about what makes a good leader, a good shepherd, versus a bad one. And look at this contrast. It's just night and day. On one side, you have the corrupt leaders from Ezekiel's time who were all about themselves. They used their flock to get ahead. But the shepherd in Jesus' story, he's the complete opposite. He cares so much about the little ones, the vulnerable ones, that he'd leave the whole flock just to find that one that wandered off. It's a massive lesson for his disciples about the kind of leaders they need to become. Okay, so let's bring this all together. What's the big takeaway for us right now? Well, our source makes it clear this isn't just an old story. It's a timeless warning about the danger of pride, especially for anyone who finds themselves in a position of leadership. See, once pride gets its hooks in a leader, everything changes. Suddenly, it's not about the people you're supposed to be serving anymore. Your success, your platform, it all becomes about you, about your own glory. And you totally forget about the sheep. And our source puts it in this really powerful, memorable way. The mission itself, the cause, the organization, that becomes the thing you worship, not the original purpose behind it. The whole point gets lost because it becomes all about building your kingdom. And that really leaves us with this one big question to chew on. This isn't just about ancient religious figures. This is for anyone with any kind of influence, a manager, a parent, a coach, anyone at all. What happens to us, to our work, and to the people around us when our ambition overshadows our purpose?